Camera.
I hope you can hear me. Am I audible? Yes, one of you answer, like, am I audible to all of you? Okay. So we are actually expecting few more participants. I would request all of you to just wait for a couple of minutes and we'll quickly start the session. Yeah. I think, it's 11:02, so maybe by 11:05, we'll just wait for 2-3 minutes and then we'll start the session. Yeah, thank you for your cooperation.
Speaker speaker yes na
Daddy, ఇది మంచిగానే ఉంది.
Murli sir, I would request you to please be on mute. Okay, so good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. I think we'll start the session and maybe students can just join in. And first of all, it's really great to see all of you on a Sunday morning taking out time from your your free time, your holiday time, and attending this session, right? So this really shows your enthusiasm, curiosity to know about a very important skill, right? That we are all of us hearing about it, right? And are really curious to know that how, as an educator, right? I'm sure we all are aware that we are like as soon as you open your social media platforms, you will be seeing that coding is mainly concentrated on for the kids, right? And today we are here to know how coding can be helpful as an educator, right? So I'm sure this hour will be a very fruitful hour in your day, and we are going to get a lot of insights about how coding can be helpful to you all as an educator, right? That's what we are here for. And definitely, we are going to learn a lot of things about it. And not only getting the insights, teachers, we are also going to get a hands-on knowledge. So today, we are actually going to work practice coding as well, so that you all know that how actually coding works and all the things that we have heard about. Okay, whether it is easy, you want to feel like get an understanding of how exactly things work. So here in this session we will be covering all of those concepts, right? So once again, welcome all of you, and I am Sonal Sangvi. I'll be the coach for your session, right? And I have done my master's in computers. I hold 15 years of experience in teaching technology, right? And I really feel proud to say that I've empowered 10,000 students till now across various age groups. So I also teach children and adults. Yeah, and now we have come up with this wonderful program for educators, for teachers, because we really feel that it's very important, seeing the demand, seeing the growing, future, how it is going to be important. And that's why we felt that, yes, we should launch this program. I'm sure all of you, most of you must be knowing about Up Educators. We have various programs for teachers in different skills. And now we have come up with this program. So today, I'll be taking you through all of these, things about coding. And also we will be at the end, we'll be having a live hands-on session, right? So let me begin the session. I will be sharing my screen. And with that, I would just make a kind request, all of you, to please be muted. And definitely at the end, I'll be taking up all the questions, all the queries that you have regarding this course or regarding anything about coding, right? So that will be the last 10 minutes we are going to. I'll be taking up all your questions. So if you have anything still, you can just type it in keep it on the chat window, and I'll be addressing them at the end of the session, right? So with this, let's begin the session. And just let me know, one of you, if you all can see my session, if you all can see my screen. Is it visible to all of you? And then I think we can proceed. Yeah, so any one of you can type on the chat window. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah. Okay, so here, yes, visible. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bonam. Okay, cool. So here, first of all, this session, this webinar is being hosted by Up Educators. It's a wonderful platform, right, for teachers, for educators, and have offering a lot of courses, various courses to upskill the teachers, right? And also a proud partner, Google for Education partner. And today, I would like to start as the session suggests about coding for educators. Before that, I want you all to just think a little bit. Let us make the class a little interactive. So I want all of you, okay, the answers can be on the chat window, that what is the common thing between all these apps that you see on my screen, right? So today, I'm sure we all are using, as soon as we wake up, right? We are opening different apps on our phone, right? So what is one thing that you feel is common between all these amazing apps that you see on your phone? I want your answers on the chat window. Whatever you think, right? Whatever you are like, whatever you feel, you can answer over here, right? So can anybody try what is it? Just type it on the chat window, please. Maybe they all use coding, social media platforms. Okay, Sheena ma'am is saying there are social media platforms. Okay, perfect. Somebody is unmuted. Raghavendra sir, I request you all of you, please be on mute. And yeah, thank you so much. So yes, any other answers? Come on. Please, feel free to answer. Sujit Kumar sir, yes. Would you like to answer? Please type it on the chat windows. Communication platforms, networking, connecting people. Right. So as you see, right, I'm sure as we are seeing all these amazing apps that we are using, right? Yes, some of them are social media, some of them are networking platforms. But one thing which is common, right? I'm asking about that, right? What is the common thing? Right. Here we have few which are meant for communication, few which are so we are using, right? We are using our Zomato, Uber, all are serving different purposes. But one thing which is joining all of them is, yes, I got some answers like programming. We all have coding, correct? So the all a part of life. It's a new part of life. Yes, a new style of living, right? That we are completely connected through digital platforms, right? Actually, almost all the industries, right? We have seen a huge digital transformation especially during the COVID times, we all have realized how technology is so important, right? And how it has helped us in so many ways, isn't it? So this digital transformation that we see, that we are seeing, okay, we are experiencing, are all the result of somebody developing these apps, right? Somebody visioning the importance and creating these wonderful apps, and then helping us and making our work, making our life so far easier and simpler, correct? So as I said, these all are the result of amazing coding or development, development of these apps with the help of coding, correct? So here, when I am saying that these all apps that you all are seeing is a result of coding or programming, you may say, what does it mean? Like, what does it mean exactly when I say that, with coding, we're able to develop all these, we're able to create all these amazing things. So come on, I want you all to again give me the answers. What does computer programming or computer coding make you think of? What do you think? When I say, okay, these are, it's possible to make your own app, it's possible to make your own website, right? Anything, a software with the help of the knowledge of coding. So what does it mean? Can anybody try? Come on the chat window. I would like to know your answers. I would like to know what you all think. Yeah, what is it coding? So Poonam ma'am, you said programming. That's nice. Jasdeep ma'am. So can you define solve problems with a set of instructions? Okay, cool. Computer language. Yes. Computer language. Right. So as we have, so it's perfect. It's a computer language. So coding is basically a language which the computer can understand, right? So how we human beings have different languages through which we are communicating with each other, right? Yes. Okay. Similarly, if I want to communicate with my computer, if I want my computer to do something for me, right? Maybe it has to perform some calculations. Maybe it has to create one app, or it has to create one website, whatever it is, right? We have to give the instructions. We have to communicate with the computer. And for that, we are going to use a specific language, which is called as the programming language. Am I clear? So basically, coding is giving a set of instructions to the computer to perform a specific task, right? It could be anything, right? It has a certain way of writing the instructions. We cannot, like how we humans speak, it won't be the same, right? It will be a certain different way which we are going to understand, right? So that is what is coding, first of all, right? When we are saying that coding is everywhere, right? Coding is going to be the most important essential skill in the 21st century, right? It means that we should know this knowledge of how we can give the instructions to the computer. Okay, and why is it important? Why is it necessary, right? We have been living all this while without this knowledge. And why all of a sudden we feel that, yes, it's important to learn coding, right? So as you can see a very powerful quote on my screen, yeah, given by none other than the legendary of innovation. Everyone should learn how to code because it teaches you how to think, right? So when I'm saying that it teaches you how to think, right, it means specifically the thinking skills that are required for the 21st century, right? I'm sure we all know that there has been such huge transformation, right? Globally, right? You with the help of technology, right? And 2 decades back, we didn't have any of these, right? But here now, as the things are changing, as everything is becoming digitalized, it's important to develop the skills of critical thinking, logical thinking, right? Which will be helpful, which we are going to see that how they are going to be helpful in so many different ways. And to build these important skills, right? Coding is the correct platform, is the perfect way to build these skills, right? And that's the reason why it is important for everyone to learn coding, right? Irrespective of what you all are, whichever organization or whichever industry you all are in, it is going to be important and it is important, right? Now, as we said that why is it increasing, right? Why is the importance, as I just mentioned, that suddenly we see that, okay, since like a decade, everybody is focusing on coding or digitalization and everything, right? Because again, there's been innovation in technology, right? We are seeing so many apps, so many gadgets, so many machines, right? As these have increased, it is important to know how to interact with with these machines, right? And then if we have this knowledge, right, then we are able to communicate more better. Are you getting me? So all this while, right? Just example, the best example is during the COVID time, right? All of us, we knew before that technology is important. We should be aware about it. We should learn it, right? But we never gave so much of importance to it unless we found that, yes, we don't have any other way, right? This is the only way that I have to upskill myself to know how to use your Zoom app or, your other platforms on on the computers, right? And you saw how they became a savior for all of you, right? Similarly, right, the same thing is going to be happening with the with this coding also, right? That there is going to be everywhere, like if you want to interact with your students also, if you want to make your lessons more engaging, more interesting, right? If you want to develop your computational thinking, critical thinking among your students, all this, all this is possible when you are also having the knowledge of coding. So this is the reason why it's increasing, right? Why it's gaining importance. Now, why as an educator, right? So I said it's in general, it's important, but as an educator, you have more responsibility, right? You are interacting with the students who are, like the Gen Z, right? As we say, the millennials. Okay. So these students are born with technology. They're already so fast, so amazing, right? With the technology, using technology. And we see that there's actually a gap between these students and us, right? So to bridge this gap again, right? You must be seeing that millions of students are already globally, they are so smart, right? They are outsmarting you, I would say, in this field, right? And especially in technology, you would say that they are far better. We can say that, right? Yeah, because they are born with that, right? And we were not we didn't get that much of exposure, isn't it? So that is going to be there. And now what's our responsibility is to bridge this gap by getting acquainted with the essential skills like, coding, and so that we can interact with them more better. We can actually, make them imbibe these qualities, this 21st century skills, right? And again, with the help of coding, right, it is possible to integrate cross curriculum integration, as also mentioned by the, the Minister of Education, right? The NEP that we see, National Education Policy, even there it has mainly focused on coding, right? Because again, how we are imbibing the skills in the students, right? It could be art, it could be dance form, right? The main, when you start in an early stage, it lays the foundation, right? And children can get a clear direction on what actually they want. They can, make their career choices as well. So here we feel that it's very important to, integrate this technology also to give them a more better experience of their subjects with your subjects, right? You see the science, STEM education, right? STEAM, now we also have STEAM education. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We also have arts added to it, right? So all these things is mainly focusing on one thing, that how technology can be integrated. Earlier, what was happening, if you see, we were teaching all the subjects in isolation, right? There was no connection at all. And somewhere, the children, I mean, if you see, if I have to explain a particular, like maybe the functioning of a heart, like how it would be earlier, it would be like, you could see on the blackboard, you would just draw the heart, and maybe, you're just explaining, labeling the parts, and you're explaining the things, right? But nowadays, with the help of the technology, the AR, VR, you can actually make the children look into the heart. How does it function? What are the different parts? Isn't it? It could be in mathematics, it could be in your, if you want to explain about Taj Mahal, and if you have this Google Maps, right? You can actually go there and you can show them that how does it work, this, how internally it is there. So everything is possible, right? All this is thanks to the technology, right? So here again, through coding is also another added advantage that we are going to do to create such engaging lessons, to make their understanding in a more better way, right? A more experiential, education we can provide. Now, with coding, you can develop the computational thinking, your perseverance, right? Very, very important, right? That children need to know, like, need to be the future jobs are going to demand, will be having a demand of skills that can be, like children have to be clearly adaptive to the changes. So all these skills will be developed with the help of coding, right? So their teamwork will be improved, self-confidence, problem-solving skills. It also develops the mathematical concepts, right? So basically, with coding, when you're creating something, right, you are actually building many other skills, at the as a byproduct, right? So that is the reason why we feel that since we want to teach the children, right, it is very important for the educators also to be acquainted with this knowledge, right? And that's why we have this entire program, right, curated for you all. And the best thing is that, again, there are various other advantages of this, of upskilling yourself with coding, is that you can teach the students in your school, right? So if you're looking for, like, as I said, NEP, once it comes into place, uh, there'll be a huge demand of teaching coding in your school as well. So here there's an opportunity which you can, with which you can teach your students, right? You can open up your own classes, right? It's very important. Suppose if you're teaching Vedic maths, or if you're teaching some abacus or arts, or, whatever, and you want to also add this, right, to teach coding, definitely, because there's going to be huge demand, right? So you can also add this. You already have students, so you can also teach coding to those students, right? You can teach your own kids, right? Already you see that every day, as soon, on Facebook or Insta, you'll have these some ads coming, okay, that, you kids should learn coding, and and the various programs, various courses that they offer. Now you can actually teach your own kids, so you don't have to pay that huge amount, right? And so that is again another advantage of doing this program. Also, as I said, it will open up a lot of job opportunities. Trust me, because it's going to be, as it is going to be a primary skill, right? So right now, as we have reading and writing is the most important primary skills, in future, coding is also going to be added. So it will be reading, writing, and coding. So it's going to be important whether you accept it, whether you like it or not. So it's better that we get ready right away so that we are ready for the future world, right? So that's the whole idea of, of why this coding for educators, right? Now, the next question that comes in all of your mind, I'm sure, it's going on that, okay, you say coding is important, and definitely these are the skills that we will be developing, right? But the very important thing, which I also get questions on, that is it easy? Is it like, is it our, will we be able to learn it, right? Because it might make, already we have that picture that, okay, coding or programming is only for the developers or for the software engineers or whoever is taking computer science. But I am a mathematics person, I am a science person, right? Science graduate. How will I be able to learn it, right? It's going to be a little difficult for me. So let me tell you over here, right? So it isn't the same as it used to be, right? So earlier this was the case where, coding was something, or programming was something which was interesting to only a few selected set of students, right? Because it was that way, it was built that way. We had text-based coding, which was not that much interesting. I kind of, you can say, it was really boring, because was completely like a black and white screen, and only, I can say it was a little difficult to learn coding at that time, right? But nowadays, as there has been innovations happening in various other platforms or overall, right? Even there has been a lot of innovations happening in the languages, in the programming languages. So now we have something called as a block-based programming, block-based coding languages, right? So this has made your entire process of learning coding in a more fun and a more interesting way. So I would actually say that rather, because of these tools that have been developed, it has now been possible to teach coding to everybody, right? Earlier, that was not the case, right? If you see, I don't know if some of you have heard about your COBOL programming or FoxPro, in that 96 or 90s, that time we had these kind of programming languages, and trust me, they were really boring. I have done myself and I really know that. Okay, so now, as I said, the question that comes in your mind is whether it will be interesting, whether I will be able to do it. Is the answer is that yes, it is possible because of the introduction of block-based coding tools. And you can see the difference with this example on my screen. Earlier, we had to code the program. We had to write it like each and every alphabet character was written, handwritten, right? And in any small mistake, right? If you don't close your, as you can see on my screen, there are some semicolons, there are some brackets, there are some curly brackets, right? If there was any missing thing, it would have not worked, right? But right now on the right hand side, you can see there are some blocks of code, and we just need to know how these blocks of codes are used, and we just need to do drag and drop, right? So that is the difference, right, in block-based coding and your text-based coding. And that's again one of the reason why we feel that again, everybody can learn coding. Yeah. Now, if I say, okay, I have to learn a language, I need to know whatever the block-based programming language. How do I do it? How do I go about it, right? So it's very simple, right? If you want to write a program, if you want to code a program, right? And if you say, okay, how do I go about it, right? How do I start? So first thing is, whatever you want to create, you have to just write the instructions in a simple language, which is also called as an algorithm or a pseudocode, right? So you must have heard these terms, right? A pseudocode or an algorithm or a flowchart. So these are the tools you can use to actually understand what you want to create in your program, right? So you do that. Okay, let's say a simple example. You want your computer to just check whether a given number is even or odd, or maybe you want an animation, you want to create an animation, so you want a ball to spin around in your game, in your project. Okay, so first thing is, teachers, you will be writing the code in a simple English language, and then you convert it into your block-based. You convert it in a proper program using your block-based coding tools. Am I correct? Yeah. So that's the thing, like, so basically there's a question like, what is the difference between a pseudocode and an algorithm? So basically, ma'am, these all are the tools. If you take a flowchart or an algorithm or a pseudocode, right, these all are the tools which we use to, basically jot down the flow of the program and the logic part of it, right? Like what will be the logic, and in a very simple English understandable language, right? And then, so they are not the actual code, right? They're not actual instructions, but pseudo means half, right? A similar algorithm means just, it will be having the everything, but not in the language which we are going to use it, right? So these are the basically tools, the flow chart, if you see. All these are the different tools that you use. And after that, we go and approach our program. So for example, if I want to spin a ball, I would just first point the ball in the 90 degrees and then turn the ball and then repeat the steps until you come back to the same position. So basically, this is how we spin a ball. And first of all, I made this very clear in my mind. And then I come over here and I just do those steps. I write the code. There is a block-based, there are commands, and we just use them and get our program executed. So we can create this animation, a simple animation with this simple code, right? So you can see that's how the coding works, correct? Now the projects that you will be learning. So this is how, as I said, that it is easy. First of all, it is meant for everyone, right? Irrespective of whatever subject you all are teaching. And also the different advantages as you can integrate that knowledge into teaching your subjects as well, right? Suppose you're teaching mathematics, you can learn how you can integrate that to, make your teaching learning experience more better, right? So here I'm going to show you now. Okay, so we have understood, okay, we can do all of these amazing things. We can create animated cards. We can create some nice short stories, virtual tours, maze games, right? I'm sure we all know that children love playing games. And here we are going to teach them how they can make their own games, right? So basically, we are also in this, process, we're also transforming children from becoming consumers, to becoming creators, right? Right now, all of us are consuming technologies. And here with coding, we have the opportunity to become creators of technology. We can create whatever we want, right? So it could be an app. As I said, we're not going to limit only with the Scratch. We are going to learn a lot of other tools as well, which will help us to create mobile apps, websites. So all of that will be covered in this particular course. I'll be providing more details as well. But before that, I want to actually show you some of the projects that we are going to create and that we can create using the block-based languages. And that I think will also give a clear picture on what we are up to. Right. So as I said, we can create some nice animated stories.
Hello, Mr. Wizard. I have been.
So I hope everybody is able to see, also listen. Just 1 minute. I'll share with the sound. I'm not sure if I. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, we have created a nice animated story.
Hello, Mr. Wizard. I have been cursed to become a frog. Can you please make me prince again?
Don't worry, Mr. Frog. I'll use my magic powers and turn you into a prince.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Wizard, for turning me into
some short stories. Let us make some
Hello,
interactive
I am Chatty the chatbot. What's your name?
So I'm typing over here.
Okay, Sonal, how are you doing? I am glad to hear that. Sonal, do you want to listen a song?
Yeah. You can create some nice chatbots, some games. Yeah. And I'll just show you a few more. Some assignments we created for students, maybe for young ones, to teach them some observation skills, right? So all of that things we can create using this tool, right? And then maybe some interactive art also we can create. We can teach them to create some arts. Yeah, all of that. Some quiz applications. Yeah. And maybe some more games. Okay, so basically here we see that how we can create some animations. So these are some of the made by teachers, some Diwali cards, animated cards, some stories to teach their children, some more activities, assignments that we can do, right? As you can see. And this, trust me, is really making your teaching learning experience a far more better. As I said, there are like concepts as you can integrate your subject concepts to students in a more story format or animated way, right? So here are some examples, as you can see, right, which have been created by the teachers as well, right? So all of that, right, teachers, I hope you have seen over here. And as I was also talking about some of the apps, right, we can also create some of the apps. So for example, we can create some calculator. Somebody's MP Naidu, sir, please, can you stop the annotations? It's really not accepted. Yeah. Okay. So these are the different apps that we are also going to work on, right? We will be making education app, Google Translate app, and so a lot of things are possible. And before I explain you more about the course, right? As I promised all of you that we are also going to get a hands-on knowledge on how to do the coding, right? All the different amazing things which I showed you, right? How are we going to do it, right? So now I want all of you to quickly, like, whoever can, please do it along with me. Okay? So jaise main kar rahi hu, whatever I am doing, I want all of you all to do it on your computers. I'm going to guide you like, with each and every step, but I want you all to do it nicely. And for that, I want all of you to go to a new tab and just type scratch.mit.edu. Okay, I'm going to type it on the chat window as well so that you can get the proper link. Scratch.mit.edu. Okay, so this is the website that you need to go right away. And as soon as you do that, teachers, you will be seeing a screen, something like this. It looks like this. And you can see that, this is a wonderful platform which helps us to create stories, games, and animations, right? And trust me, you can see when you go to the website, you will see how amazingly, children have made different, projects in Scratch, right? So you will be able to see that. And that's really amazing because, to create all these amazing applications is something really amazing. So now what I want you all to do is, I'm not audible. Is it? Is my voice audible, everyone? Mr. Naidu sir is saying that it is not audible. It's audible. Okay, perfect. So now I am sure, because you all have not created any accounts, I don't, it's perfectly fine. But what I want all of you all to do is right now, click on create. Okay, it's perfectly fine if you have not created your accounts. We will be doing when we actually do the course. Today, I want you all to understand how coding works, how we can actually code a simple project in Scratch, right? We will start with Scratch because that's the best tool to get, to start your journey of coding, right? Going ahead, we will be, adding some more tools. We will be learning other tools as well, through which you can do a little more advanced stuff, right? But since we all are beginners, we have just started, right? We would be doing with this tool that is a Scratch, right? This application. So I want all of you to please go to this website, scratch.mit.edu. Okay, I hope everybody has done that. If you're on the phone, it is, it's not possible. I mean, you can do it, but it's not very user friendly, right? So I would suggest all of you to be do it either on the iPad or a this thing tab, or your computer or a laptop. Okay, that is the most better way of doing it. So after you go to this website, you need to click on create. Okay. So the create will open up a new blank project where you can create any stories, games, your lesson, interactive lesson, a card, animation, whatever you feel like. And once you click on create, you can see the interface like this, right? As you can see on my screen. Okay. And here in this interface is the environment through which we are going to design and build our application. Okay. So here we have on the right hand side, it's called as a stage, right? Where we are going to see the outcome, right? So all the things which I showed you, right? As you can see, this is my stage where I'm seeing the outcome, isn't it? So this white space that you see is called as a stage. This character, this cat you see over here is called as a sprite, right? So all the things that you see in your game or in your stories, okay, all these are different sprites or characters that you need for your project, right? And you can add, you can upload, a lot of things can be possible. By default, you get only one cat and in a blank stage, right? A white stage, you get it. And we can customize all of that. And the middle, in the center, you can see it's a ma'am, Daksha ma'am, if you can't see my screen, maybe it's a network issue because I think the screen is quite visible. But if you're on mobile data or if your network is not in a good range, then
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is
I can't see your screen, ma'am. Whatever you are showing, I'm not able to see, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Are you on the phone? Are you using your
Yes, ma'am. I
phone?
am on the phone.
Yeah, so that's the problem, ma'am. It is actually because of your network. So I would
Okay.
prefer you also be in a good network, please.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. So now let's.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. In the center, you see this is my workspace, right? This is called as a workspace where actually we are going to put up all the code and we are going to build a program, right? So this is called as a workspace. On the left hand side, we have 3 tabs: code, costumes, and sounds. Right, we will see on the code, in the code tab, you will see different categories, different color coded categories, right? And each category has certain block of commands, right, which we will be using to create our animations, right? So suppose if you say looks, we're going to see few of them right now also. And you can see every category has a certain block of code. So we just need to know what is the purpose or what is the usage of the block. and how we can use it to create what we want, right? Now, then we have the costume, which is something related to the appearance of the character, right? You can see these are also used to create animations, wonderful animations when we have different costumes, right? We will be seeing that also nicely. And then these are some sounds which comes by default with your characters, and we can also add and upload some sounds, right? And then on the right hand side, you see my characters, all my sprites. Each sprite has some information regarding to the size. If I want to increase the size, if I want my cat to become a big or a small, if I want to change its size, I can do that with the help of this sprite information, right? By default, it's always 100, some directions and all of that, right? And also we see on over here, just below that, we see this thing, which is to add more sprites or characters, right? As you can see in my stories, games have different characters, right?
Hello.
So all of that can be done with the help by adding these sprites, right? Similarly, you see that we have some wonderful backdrops, right? Which adds so much to the story, which enhances your stories or games, right? All of that can be done by adding backdrops. Okay, so let's say I want to add a nice backdrop for my simple story. And for that, I will be going to choose a backdrop. I'll click on this. You can see there's a scenery and a plus symbol. You need to click on that. And here we can see an amazing collection of some backdrops which are already there in the Scratch library. And we can use any of them, right? They have been categorized over here also to make, to choose your backdrop for your project. And let's say I will be going to something related to maybe a forest or a jungle or whatever. Okay. And here I have added a nice backdrop. I have a character. Let's say I would like to add one more character to my story, and maybe I add an apple here, and I just go and click over here, and then we add this particular sprite that is an apple. Okay, so if you all are doing right now, I want all of you to click on this, choose a nice backdrop. You can choose anything which you all like. Okay, and just how do we choose? We just click on it. That's it. Okay, and then we come back over here. Then we add another character by clicking on this, right? So choose a sprite. You again see these are the collection of sprites that we have in Scratch by default. Okay, and you can choose anything what you like, and that's it. And then we can start, right? So this is my design part, right? So whenever you're creating an application, okay, there are totally 4 steps, right? One is you're designing the application. Second is you're writing the code, right? Like building. The first is the purpose. Always first remember that what is the purpose of the app. Right? Just before designing also, it's very important to know what you're building, right? So the purpose of the app or application, then is your designing, then is your coding, and the 4th step is testing and running the application, whether it's working exactly the way you want, correct? Now here, I have kind of decided to create a short story, and for that I have added my nice backdrop and 2 characters, right? Now let's go to the coding part, right? So now if I have to write a code, right? So you can see it's a visual programming language, first thing. So Scratch is again a visual programming language where you can actually see the outcome, which was not there in your text-based coding, right? So that's again another disadvantage of text-based coding, that we could not see it was not more of visual, right? And if you see the children, if you create something like this, obviously they will be tempted to learn and tempted to use this particular things, right? So that's again a very interesting thing about block-based coding, right? Now, if I say that I want my cat to say something like maybe welcome to welcome to Scratch, and then it wants to say some dialogue, right? So when you want to do something like, you thought that my character should say something. Okay. So here we will be going to the looks category where we have certain blocks which does that, right? Which helps you to say, think, change some costumes, change some backgrounds, a lot of things, right? I would like to pick up this command. So how do I do that? Just drag and drop it. So you can see they are like jigsaw puzzles, right? It's just like a puzzle blocks, and you need to just join them, snap them together to make a meaningful code, right? And here you can see I said save. And if I want to customize, right, I wanted to change it to say, hello friends, right? And I would like to say, welcome to Scratch. Okay, and I would like to have that message for, let's say, so if I just do this, and if I click on it, you can see that it is executed, that command is being executed when you click on it, And you can see the outcome over here on the right hand side on your stage. And what has happened? What is happening, right? It is saying this command, like a speech bubble is there, and it says this for 2 seconds, and after that it disappears, right? If you want to make it a little longer, you could just say for 4 seconds maybe. So you say hello friends, and it stays there for 4 seconds because that's what you have commanded, right? That's what you have given the instruction. Am I clear, everyone? So that's a simple way of doing it, right? Of giving a command to your characters. Now, if you do this way, right? If I want to execute the program, so earlier you saw all my programs, like I just had to click on this green flag and my program starts, right? But if I do this in my program, this story, if I click on the green flag, basically this green flag is to start your application, and this red button that you see is to stop the application, right? There are three previews over here. So if I want to see my screen in a full screen, or if I want the compact mode, right? I can change it to any of the modes that I want, like this is a default mode, right? Now, when I click on the green flag, there's nothing happening, right? Even though I've written some block of code, but I cannot see the outcome, right? Now, this is because, teachers, majorly all of your block-based programming are event-driven programming languages, right? Which means that they will be executed only when a certain event is triggered, when some action has happened, right? For example, over here, if you see, right, in my story or in something, like
Hello,
it is,
I
when
am
I click
Chatty
on
the
the green
chatbot.
flag, it is
What's your
saying
name?
something, right? And after I type something, it is going to, and I press enter,
Okay,
something is
Sonal,
happening.
how are you
So
doing?
this is called as event-driven programming languages, and most of the block-based programming use that, right? So I have to basically give a command to my computer that when I click on the green flag, when I click on this green flag is when I want this character to say this message for 4 seconds, right? So I will just drag, and can I just play like that? Like, didn't I just place the individual like separate? It will be of no use, right? It doesn't make any sense. So we have to say, we have to snap them, we have to join them together to make a meaningful code, right? So I will say when flag clicked, say hello friends, and this message for 4 seconds. Now, when I click on it, right, you can see this message appearing in your project. Yeah. So this is how simply we can use this command and we can build our applications. Right now, let's say you imagine that, okay, I want the cat to play some sound or meow, play a meow sound. So I go to the sound category and I will drag and drop this block over here. I will say play sound. Okay, teachers, so you can just do that along with me. I hope you're able to follow how to do it. So we first go to when flag click, we drag and drop it over here. Then we can go to the looks and pick up this block, right? You press inside this so that you can customize the message, right? If I want to go to the sound, we can just do like this. Am I correct? And if I don't want a certain block, if I want to delete it, I just drag and drop it back. That's how we delete the block of commands, right? So now, if I run this code, right, I've added a code called as play sound meow until done, right? And you must have observed that the code is so simple, right? It's a very simple English. So any layman can understand, the code also, the blocks also. And then you play the sound meow, correct? Now you see that it's a sequential based programming. So you said say, and then you said play. So it does in the same order. Okay, so this is also called as sequential programming. Let's imagine I placed this before, like play sound, and then I said say hello. What happens? Let's see. So when I click on the green flag, it will first play the sound and then the block, then the message, right? So this is very important to know that what you want in whichever order you want, you have to place the commands like that. Am I clear, everyone? Yes. And the one more thing we will add. So let's say I want my character to change its color, right? I want the cat to change its color. So let's say that it has to see a message. Okay. Let me show you how I can change my color, let's say. Okay. And we are going to see one more block that we can do. That is change the color. So I will say change color effect by 25. So now you see that when I run this code, right, first it will play the sound, it will give this message, it will be there for 4 seconds. It comes below. Let me show you how I can change my color, and then it changes the color. Yeah. So this is how we are going to write the code. Let's say if I want to see it in a full screen mode, I can go over here. I can again click on the green flag and it will execute your code, right? So this is a very simple code that we have written, yeah, to understand how coding works, how we design the application, how we are going to code, how we are going to run the application, isn't it? I hope everybody is clear with it. Yeah. In our next sessions, we're actually going to, work on different sessions to learn to develop different kinds of applications, which I just showed you, right? It can be a story with animated story with voice and all of that. Like a lot of amazing things are possible in Scratch. So we are going to learn most of it, right? Can you please repeat joining of course? Definitely, I can. I'll just explain you again. And for that, okay, just listen carefully. If I want to write a code, right, teachers? If I say first, as I said, you be clear what you want, right? So I want my character to say some message, like say, "Hello friends, welcome to Scratch." Okay. So for that, first, what I should do, right? And when I want that, when I click on the green flag, I want my code to happen, right? I want my code to be executed. So first thing is we go to this and we are going to pick up this when flag click, right? And then I decided that I want my cat to say something. So I will go and pick up this. So joining is just like this, ma'am. Just, snapping them together. So you can see the gap right over here. Right? So like this, we can just join them. Simple. Am I clear? Thank you. Okay, Poonam ma'am. So teachers, this is how we are going to do our coding in Scratch. We will be first learning, we will be going till intermediate level, then we are going to also learn how App Inventor works, where you can actually design your app. And not only that, you can also, connect these apps to your phones to see how it works. And going ahead, you will also be learning how to create these mobile apps, basically installing this app on your phone. Okay, where it is going to be staying forever, like creating an APK file that we say in programming language, in programming terms, right? That is installing, right? A set of file we will be creating and that will be installed on your phone. So we are also going to learn, yes, okay, yes, Poonam ma'am, we can create our own backdrops in spite of selecting from available. Definitely, we can do a lot of amazing things. That's the reason I showed you, right? There are some apps which have taken from which we have taken it, we have uploaded them, we can create our own apps. So this is something we have created by ourselves, right? So yes, all of that is possible, correct? And so yeah, and next, let's come back to our program details. I'm sure we all want to know more about it. How many sessions and what are the days and timings and everything. So basically, it's a 5-week instructor-led training program. I'll be your instructor, I'll be your coach. And it's a total of 15 sessions, okay, divided into 5 weeks. So it's twice a week, alternate days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, okay, whichever date we start. And not only that, right, let me ensure you that to get a proper, hands-on knowledge in all the topics that we are going to learn, we are going to be giving you assignments, right, that will ensure that you have practiced it well and you are able to code your programs by yourself, right? So definitely you can do it you will be given assignments which you have to do it and you have to submit, and a detailed feedback on how you have done or what can be improved, what can be enhanced will be given to you. So definitely it's going to be something which you will be giving your practical knowledge as well, right? And post the 5-week program, there are some advanced workshops which will be unlocked for all of you. Okay, and they will be covering a little more advanced topics on the tools that we have learned, right? There'll be also workshop on interview preparation for coding jobs. Okay, some instruction material, very, very important. I'm sure as an educator, as a newbies, you want to have a reference, something where you can go and check it or go through that before you do your work. So you will be provided with instruction material as well. Okay, and in future also when you take up the coding class, you can refer them, right? And the platforms that we are going to cover, we are going to use is code.org, there's Scratch, and there is MIT App Inventor. So you'll be acquainted with all of these three applications very nicely. And and let me tell you that these are the most popularly used platforms, right? So you are aware about which is used overall, like globally. Okay. So yeah, so we are going to learn all of these platforms we are going to use to learn mobile app development and your stories and your website designing, right? So that's why we are going to use the code.org platform, correct? And let me, so I think I'm sure you all, most of you know about app educators, but if not, we have trained more than 3,000 teachers, educators, and also you can check out the rating. It's 4.9, right? So you can actually get to know from the real educators that how they are benefiting or how is the overall experience, right, with us. And I think that will give you a more better picture. And yeah, so that's about it, right? Now, I would like to welcome, before I also, take up your queries, I would also like to quickly launch this poll. I would like to know how much of you all are interested to know more about the coding course so that we can personally call you up and, provide with all the details and everything. Okay, so quickly, just give your responses on that. That will help us to directly, communicate with the person people who are interested. So Sheena ma'am, the timings and the batch date and everything will be provided to you by the team. Okay, because we are just setting up the dates and timing. So maybe the concerned team will be giving you a call and they will be giving you the details, right? So they will be the better person to answer your query with this one. I would like to take up any queries regarding the session or anything related to your, this program. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask right now. Yeah. Or you can type it in the chat window as well, not an issue. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Ma'am, do learn Python. Yes, of course. I didn't get your question basically. Do learn Python means just could you be a little more clear with the question? Yes, you will be getting a certificate for this session. And I think you will be getting a session, this thing. Yes, the timings are 8:30 to 10. Yes, so the timings are 8:30 to 10 p.m. That is fixed, but the days are not fixed, and the date of start will be provided you. Which coding language are we going to learn? We will be learning. So for this program, ma'am, this is a beginner's training. So we will be learning. Okay, so we will be learning Scratch, MIT, and HTML, CSS. Okay, Poonam ma'am, already booked for the class. Going to start from 15 November. Yeah. So most likely we are going to start from 15 November and the timings would be 8:30 to 10. Okay. So whoever wanted to know more details about it, I think that will answer your question. So cost and everything, ma'am, you will be getting a call. You'll be getting the answer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you found this session informative and interesting. Any other questions you have? Is there any fee? Yes, definitely so, but it's a very nominal fee that we are charging. And yeah, so we will be providing you the fee details. We will be giving you a call. Yes, a recording will be sent, ma'am. Yes, Veera ma'am. So in case if you miss any session, right, you don't have to worry because the entire playlist of the of the course will be given to you, will be there with you. We have an LMS which will be getting an access to, where you have the reference material, you'll be getting all the recordings of the sessions, right? Your assignments, your feedback of the assignments. So it's really like, very, like the entire experience will be wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much, Sheena ma'am. Thank you, Veera ma'am, for your feedback. I hope the exposure would be interesting. Definitely, it would be interesting. Amazing. Don't worry. I am very confident about it, and I just need, if you all are committed, if you all are doing it well, practicing well, then definitely 100%. I am, it will be, the results will be outstanding. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I think no more questions I can see. It was really wonderful talking to all of you.